Okay. So then, when we actually look at the political cartoon analysis, I just want to explain how I think you should analyze the easiest possible way of analyzing. I think that what you should start off doing on your paper is you list the objects or the people that you see in the cartoon. That's your starting point. And like I mentioned earlier, if you don't know the main people, it is it is a problem. Okay. Then
Directions.
then you put a mark, or then you try and write down the objects that you think are symbols, because when you have identified your symbols, then you need to write down what the symbols mean. Okay, so you've got your objects, you've got your people, you've got your objects that are symbols, you've identified what the symbol means. Then the people, now you need to look at, did the cartoonist exaggerate any of the objects or the physical features of the person or the people? Then you have to describe to yourself, look, this is fine when you're doing the first one, you can do it like this at home, but in an exam situation, you obviously won't have time to write it, but you will still talk yourself through these different steps. How did the cartoonist exaggerate? What did he exaggerate? And then the most important question, what is the effect the cartoonist was trying to achieve by exaggerating? So if I use the example of Mr. Zuma and the showerhead, I got a message now from Tawhid saying he's waiting, and I find that very strange because the rest of you are all in here. So can someone just please send him a message there? So when every time we see Mr. Zuma with a showerhead, we know that the cartoonist is reminding us about how ludicrous, about how stupid, about how simple Mr. Zuma is, and that he's someone that we cannot take seriously. Okay. And then something that's also not as important, but look at how the cartoon is drawn. Is it very hard, strong, black lines? Is it soft? And then what is the effect? Okay, so in one cartoon you could have a mixture of the two kinds of drawing, the harder lines and then the softer lines. Why is he drawing some of them soft? What symbol is he drawing soft, or what character is he drawing softer? Okay, and then now that was the visuals, and now I just want to look at the actual words quickly. What is the caption? You must identify the title or the caption, because that helps to give us context. Is he talking here about Marikana? Is it the context in Parliament? What exactly is the context? Because the caption or the title can guide us there. Also, you need to be circling. Remember, your exam paper is yours to do with as you please. So you want to be circling or highlighting any important dates or numbers that are appearing. Okay. Then you want to look at the words or phrases used, because there aren't much that's taking place. It's mainly visual. So when he does choose to include words or phrases, then they are significant. Okay. And then you need to find a link between the words and the symbol. Remember, I said, I made that example earlier, and I said it was the train, where the train number should be. It said South Africa, or it said SA. Okay, so then the link is that the train is representing the country. We could even take it a step further and say it's representing the country's economy. Am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Then I think we come to, we're still on analyzing. We've looked at the visuals, we've looked at the wording, and now I'm looking at the action. What action is taking place in the cartoon? You need to be able to talk yourself through and describe the action taking place in the cartoon. For example, the train seems to be moving downhill very fast. It's rushing downhill. Okay, that is my action. And then what facial expressions are portrayed? Now that is important. Very often they can show you South African politicians and they are smiling while this train is about to crash, which tells us what? They are not very bothered. Or it tells us that they are unaware of the danger that is closing in on them. Okay, so that is the facial expressions. And then also in our analyzing, how does the cartoonist maybe not so much use the lines, but what tells us? Are the eyes drawn big to show fear? Is the mouth wide open to show the person is screaming? Are the person's eyes closed the way the person is laughing? Are you still following me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are there
Yes,
any
ma'am.
questions thus far, people? If it's not clear, I want you to let me know. It will of course help that this recording will be available for you to go back to, especially when you are busy with your task 2. Okay, is anybody sent a message to Tawhid? Shaim, who is still outside of the meeting. Okay. So then we come to probably the last bit, which is the meaning. And for the meaning, you need to be able to recognize what political event or idea is the cartoonist referring to? What is the political event or idea that the person is referring to? So like I used the example of this train, which is rushing downhill towards this large rock. It's referring to a specific event. Okay. Maybe South Africa has cut ties with the country. Maybe South Africa is refusing to trade with someone. Maybe they are once again embezzling funds, but you need to recognize that. And then the next point under meaning, what conclusions can you draw? In my example, the conclusion is that South Africa is heading to a total disaster. In fact, it's not just a disaster, but it's one that cannot be prevented. Okay. Please also remind yourself that the cartoon while presenting the cartoonist's opinion, it's actually just that, his opinion. And you are going to give your opinion about what he is thinking. Okay, but usually we find that cartoonists, they are very good at their job. They are able to read the political situation very accurately, and they are making good points. They are speaking out about important information. Okay. Then also other little questions. What specific details in the cartoon makes us able to say this is the cartoonist's opinion? And then something very interesting, grade 12, whose point of view is not represented in the cartoon? And there, I think very often it's going to be the president. You know, they are making fun of him, but they're not saying what the man is really, Or it could be the South African nation. Maybe they are not. Sorry, who is Mshina?
Sorry, ma'am, it's me, it's Yenzo, ma'am.
Oh, yes, Yenzo.
Ma'am, Tweed is saying the link is not working for him.
Okay, then I don't know what to say because it's working for all of you. So I'm not sure what I can do about that. Okay, just reminding that he will be able to find this as soon as we are done here. I will upload it to YouTube. Okay. The last point in analyzing your political cartoon. Remember now we have looked at the visuals, we have looked at the words, we have looked at the action taking place in the cartoon, we have looked at the meanings. So the very last point is effectiveness. How effective is the cartoon in your opinion? And if you should get a question like that, you can't just say it's effective or it's not effective. There you need to elaborate with reasons. And if you are giving your reasons, you've got to talk about different elements in the cartoon. So you say it's very effective because of the shower. So you talk about the shower. Or it's not effective because the train is not a true representation of the South African economy. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is probably one of the biggest parts of analyzing the cartoon. How effective is it? So I'm going to stop there with our analyzing or our analysis. I'm going to remind you again how you are doing task 2. And because I am such an amazing person and I want you to do your best in the essay, which you will be writing eventually, the actual common assessment task essay, I am going to give you an essay which is, well, it's in essay form, but it's an analysis of a political cartoon, okay? And it includes the cartoon that was analyzed, okay? And I want you, it's a very, very good analysis, and so I want you to look very closely at it, okay? But I'm not going to give it to you now because I don't want to overwhelm you. I think one of the other handouts that I have also given you is entitled Persuasive Strategies and Rhetorical Devices. Okay. I think I started talking a little bit about logos, ethos, and pathos. Okay. And yes, there was the video link, but I think it's important that you look at the handout, and maybe on Monday we can start off by going through the logos, ethos, and pathos. Will that be okay with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right.
Yes,
Then,
ma'am.
thank you. Then just to go back to our task 2, which you are giving me for Monday. I said you are going to, this weekend, it's going to be a Word document, right? So you are going to find a cartoon, and I think there are so many cartoons, political cartoons out there. The Shapiro ones are, in my opinion, always the best ones. So you're going to find a cartoon talking about an issue that interests you. I think it makes it so much easier to do the whole analysis if it's something that you are interested in. Then you are going to look at what techniques, I've given you the 5, right? What techniques are used, and you're going to break down that cartoon the way we've done now, with the visual and the words and the meaning, all of that. And then you are going to use your little notes to type out, not to type out, I hate saying type out, to write your paragraph. Okay, and I'm not going to say it needs to be a 1 page or it needs to be a half a page, because sometimes one can say more in half a page than you can in a page. A page, it's about the quality and not the quantity. So you're going to have 4 parts to your task for Monday. You're going to have the cover page with all the information, your name, the subject, the grade, the task. You are going to have your cartoon. You're going to have your techniques. I think in point form it would be good. And then you are going to have your paragraph. I can't tell you exactly how long it's going to be, in which this just be a nice flowing paragraph, okay? Just work on the order in which we've done it today, and then you won't go wrong. Okay. Are there any questions?
Ma'am,
Yes.
I wasn't able to join class earlier on, so could you please upload the recording?
I'm going to do it straight away when we are done here, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Pleasure, sir.
Ma'am,
Yes.
say like I don't know, like a rubric that you can like put up so we can actually use it as we write in the task.
Let me just check, but I think in the first time when I gave you the whole cat, sure, let me just find it. When I gave you the whole cat document, I think the rubric is in there, because all the rubrics are there. Okay, I think it will be the same. If you look on page 9 and 10, you will find a rubric, and that's out of 30, but that's the rubric that I will use, and I will obviously just divide the mark by 3. So that's the rubric there. Okay, so please, maybe that should be your starting point, just looking, taking time just to have a look at the, not even the whole rubric, just looking at, to get the top bracket, to see what it is that you need to include. Yes. Yes.
For task 2, does it have to be in point form, or you can do it in an essay format? Like to get
I
out
said
and-
you are having your cover page, you're having your cartoon, you in point form is your techniques, and then your notes is what will be in your paragraph. I don't want more than 1 page. Okay, people, this is only for 10 marks. Okay, so you cannot give me more than 1 page. That's the absolute
And task 2 is graded.
Sorry? Yes, task 2 is 10 marks. Task 2 is 10 marks. Are there any other questions? Okay, but you do know, of course, that as you get busy this weekend, you can just WhatsApp me, and I will attend to you. I will as soon as I can. Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.